Welcome to the Starting Over podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. All right, today's episode is going to be quite interesting, mainly because what we're going to do is, I've done it before, but we're going to do this. I'm going to be building a team. And you're going to be listening to me build a team as we, progress through the episode. So it's going to be me figuring things out. It's going to be raw, uncut, if you want to say it like that. So just bear in mind that's where this episode is going. So. All right. Also, like I say, Firefox, for some reason, does not like HC Realms. I don't know why. It just loads hella slow. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm going to build a 500-point team. And one of the characters on my team has to have a build. I mean, a beard. So that's sort of the quirky thing that we're supposed to be doing. Now, initially, I was thinking of Mahazes, but I'm trying not to just go to the well over and over and over again. Trying to be a little creative. Also trying to see if there's anybody new I can pull out. And this is also sort of a part where it's like, all right, let's look at pictures, because I haven't had to look at pictures in a while. And that's a little interesting development of having to look at pictures. So there's some characters that you're like, oh, okay, let me start off with some sort of basics of, okay, let me look for a damage, output of this and that and the other. But right now, I'm just trying to establish, all right, who has some form of facial hair that's actually, distinguishable. So looking at Hell, does he has a beard. Okay, so Hell's on the list. All right, so we got one guy. So okay, so I'll just add him there. Now I don't really like him at 150, but I'm going to have him on my side list. Now I'm just indicating a side list of a possibility. Now, I wish this was a little bit like Star Trek, where it was evil version, and then you can be like, it's evil Spock, because evil Spock has a beard. Ha 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 ha. So, but it's not. It's sadly not. Let me see. You would think a guy like Lord Satanus or whatever would have a beard, but, he doesn't have a beard. And that part sucks. Now, note, I also have a little side goal. My side goal is to use a colossal so that I can do that colossal retaliation, because I really haven't had any time to play with it at all. So that's another bonus goal if I can do it. Now, if I can't. I'm not going to cry about it, but if I can, that will be great. All right. Now, no, the other problem comes in when you have something like an arbitrary thing, like a guy must have a beard or wearing a purple shirt or stuff like that. The tendency is to try to make that guy your primary attacker, and nah, that doesn't always work. Or, in my case, I thought about cheating and just be like, Titano has a beard. Ha, ha, ha. But his whole body's a freaking beard. So that wouldn't actually count. But you could try looking for support guys. That is very useful, just trying to find support guys. So that way, you're paying for them, but then you're not, busting the bank. So, okay, so we have Nick Fury Jr. So he has a beard. Now, goatees also count, the facial goatee thing. So we're going to add Nick Fury Jr. Now I'm also going to go back, and since I know this, I'm going to add the one from the Fast Forces too. Now we are modern age for this 500-point game. And I know some people will say, like, why don't you just go to Avengers 2 movie set and just get the cheap Nick Fury from there? Well, the problem comes in is that I don't have that Nick Fury, and he's sort of on my want list. But, you play with what you got. And then I even thought about it. I'm like, man, I'm not really going to be using that Nick Fury too much, so I'm not going to buy it just to get it. You know what I mean? You don't need to keep up with the Joneses like that. Okay, so we got Dr. Demonicus. Dr. Demonicus does not have a face. He has a mask, so you cannot imply beard. So the rule of beard. That's what it needs to be, the rule of beard. All right. Iron Nail nope, Iron Nail is just a mutant freak. Let's look at this Thor here. Actually, I don't even have that Thor. No, that's female Thor. If she had a beard, that would be a little interesting. And nope. That's it. All right, so let's look at some Age of Ultron. And like I said, I'm just primarily just looking to fill that base category. Do you have a beard? Okay, so I'm looking at Thor. Thor's clean shaven. So these Thors, I thought Thors, so many Thors right now are going to be showing up. But the more I look at them, there are not as many Thors with beards that I thought there were, or for facial hair for that matter. And I'm also noticing this trend in general that there's a lot of characters that just do not have facial hair. Now, a colleague of mine said Jon Stewart had a beard, and the prize support one, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's clean shaved, and I am correct. I think, no, I thought one of them. Now the Indigo Tribe one, it looks like he has like he has facial hair, but it's actually that tattoo. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna do something a little weird. I know I've sort of been progressing from Superman, Wonder Woman backward. I'm gonna skip all the way to Flash, because I already know. Like I said, I know Mahazis is there, and Mahazis, he's rocking the huge beard, and no, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to use like animals. Like, I know Gorilla Grodd technically could have a beard, but he doesn't. He doesn't count like that. Now, in situations like this, you can also sort of use like Google in a different way. So I'm going to type in, if Firefox would stop crashing, bearded superheroes, and see what happens. Did you mean bearded superheroes? Okay, cool. All right, now make sure safe search is on, because there's some stupid stuff that'll come up, like Wonder Woman in a beard. So there's that. Now, just by typing in there that little question, we have Green Arrow. Green Arrow comes up. Also Aquaman. And let's see. Green Arrow, Aquaman. And we got to make sure we get the right versions of these so they don't suck. Firefox, I love you. And then when I need to record, you decide to show your butt all the time. Doctor Strange. Ha ha. That's a good one. Doctor Strange. So I think also wouldn't the collector and yeah, there we go. All right, so you can see we got some ideas going. So let's check out Doctor Strange and make sure that the version that we want to look at actually has a beard. He has a mustache. So that sucks. So let's look at it. Yeah, it's all mustache. Okay, so we could implore the right of the cheat code. Yeah. All right, so next up we're going to look at Aquaman. Not as a good option. Nope, clean shaven. So that part sucks. Let's look at War of Light Aquaman. Oh, definitely clean shaven. And let's go back to, I know there's like Thor's out the wazoo, but not too many have beards. And oh, Hercules. Hercules has a beard. And does Zod have a beard? Okay. So let's go look for Zod. Let's see if there's a General Man of Steel. Nope, that's a movie. All right. And let's look for Green Arrow, since he is our best chance of having something that doesn't suck. All right. Now, unfortunately, I do not have... Oh, nope. He does not have a beard. That sucks. So we're like... Now, see, if I could go to Golden Age, the Green Arrow from DC 75th is probably still one of the best sub 100 pieces that you can spend in the game. Oh gosh, let's look at collector, because I thought, like, I know one of those versions has like a beard or something, or not. I am just not hitting it. No. Okay, so I was wrong. Now, let's look at it, because I know there is Highfather. Highfather. Bam. Now, here's the risk with Highfather. How many characters above 300 points would have a beard? Now, the other thing is how many characters above, like could be super cheap that one of my opponents can field a character above 300 points. So that's another issue too. Now, I should have asked, can my sideboard count? Like, I should have asked that, but I didn't, and so that's on me. That's a big problem. Now, another character. Let's see, Ganthet. Does he have a beard? And I know this is getting old. Like, does he have a beard? Is it's like, come on, like, really? Like, that's going to be the phrase for this episode. Does he have a beard? But you can start seeing that when you have these theme games, like how they can start. You can really just focus on one thing, and that one thing can just sort of jack you up like really bad. I don't know why I clicked on Shadow last. I know she doesn't have a beard. Okay, Orion. Now, this picture of Orion, I can't really see if he has any facial hair. Nope, he doesn't. Okay. I know there's pictures, like sometimes Orion gets that scruff face. So you don't know. But yeah. So far in the lead is Nick Fury Jr. I'm just saying. Let me look at Nick Fury because yeah. Because if he has a beard, I know I'm about to see him. Nope, he doesn't have a beard. All right, so that is one giant sigh of relief of, okay, well, I know I still don't, I probably will still see Nick Fury. And so, take that back. I was like, yeah, I'm in the clear. And then it's like, no. All right, so the next thing we're going to do here is, since just looking directly and trying to find random guys is not working, we're going to go for the cheapo end. So we're going to go for less than 50 points, or we're going to go in the range of 10 to 50 points. Now, in my venue, they ruled that a pog does not count as a figure. So that's fine. So I can't get around that way. Okay. So I had to find like different like advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's look at Shield Bodyguard. Nope, you have a mullet. Even Paranormal Investigator. And again, I know some of you are like, Dark Logos, don't you know all these scopes? Like, I know dials. Dials and scopes are different things. You know, so that's okay. Oh, here we go. Annihil Agent. 40 points. All right. Hydra Annihil Agent. All right, so he goes on the list. Shield Cyborg has a awesome mustache, but not a beard. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, you know, you probably could get away with the mustache thing. Why are you so particular about the beard? Now, this is what happens when you reach, how can I say it, a certain point of success where people will try to nitpick everything that you do. You try not to make sure people have any rope whatsoever to hang you with. Okay, so that includes like your team designs and stuff. So if it's like, oh, you know, you didn't specifically have the blah blah blah, and it's like, you know, you didn't mention that. So there's a problem there. So you want to keep everything, like I said, like on the up and up. You want to make sure that you're following it to the T, and then you can hit them with brutality, like just like bam, gotcha. You know, you can say you got them by the cojones, as my one professor used to say. So there's a bunch of cool stuff here that are in that point range, but just nothing that I really, really want. Oh, Korath the Pursuer, if you only had a beard. I've been wanting to play him for a long time, for like my Black History Month too. I think I might this year, just because I don't have like a lot of cheap outwit. He might fit the bill. So I don't know, but I do like him. Now, does Weapon X Scientist? Yep, Weapon X Scientist has a beard, so that would also mean Adamantium Specialist has a beard. Okay, so I like Adamantium Specialist. He's a lot more useful. And then like the Weapon X Scientist, it's not bad. It's less points, so we can put that on the list too. Now, the professor does not have a beard. Now, also looking at some of these pictures through HC Realms, they look really funny. Like, I mean, really funny. Like the professor looks like he has like a Mickey Mouse face. Like, really. Um, but that's how it goes. Shield agent, Magi Goon. No, that Dreadnought's a robot. Um, okay, here we go. Oh, yep. Leave it to Asgardians. Now, the Ellenhar would be great if I had an Ellenhar, but I don't. Um, so, yeah. Definitely for 50 points, just getting invulnerability for a cheapo figure. Pretty nice keywords. Um, he also has pilot. Oh no, that's Dark Elf Soldier. Allerheim. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, yeah. Charge, Asgardian. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty good. It works really good with the Pogs, but let's see. Now I've also thought about just playing this cheapo figure and then like a team base and then a resource and then laugh. That is there, and considering that I've been, actually recently rather, lackadaisical when it comes to my heroclix play, i.e., I haven't been playing. Just like I said in previous podcasts, like enjoying the holidays, recharging, because you can't just be on this like 24/7, 365. Like you gotta take a break, or else you will start to hate this game. Um, but sort of rolling back in, you can just be like, watch Dark Logos make new mistakes in team building. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Science Police Officer has a helmet on. And yeah. All right. So we got some decisions to make. So first off, we can start looking at our value propositions. Okay. So what does hell give us? Well, it gives us 100 points, hypersonic speed attacker, 11 attack, which is solid, 9 movement, not that great, taxi, 3 damage, and we have the ability to use perplex. When he uses it on opposing character after actions resolve, he can use outwit to target that character, or use perplex a second time to target himself. So he can perplex down my opponent's defense, and then perplex up his own attack or damage or defense, or just straight up use perplex. So that is nice at 100 points. At 150, we're getting a little bit more beefed up version of that, but not by much. And truthfully, I'd rather just have him pick up an ultra heavy than just get the +4 more damage for 50 more points. So that's sort of out the window for the 150. So goodbye. All right. Then we have Nick Fury. Yeah, 60 Nick Fury Jr. So he's giving me, this is the standard one. He's giving me running shot, precision strike, energy shield deflection, and leadership. Changing the world, taking down dictators, opposing characters adjacent to 2 or more friendly characters with a shield keyword, can't use willpower or a mastermind. Now, this would be great if I was running more shield guys, but I don't want to pay for things I'm not going to use quite yet, or I don't know if I'm going to use. So we got back to the vault. No, so we're going to get rid of that. All right, then we have Nick Fury at 75 points. This is a little bit better. Running shot, 11 attack, 17 defense, toughness, indomitable, 3 damage. Now, I could do the whole Agent Coulson thing, but I'm not really going to push that. Figure out how you're doing that and stop it when Nick Fury Jr. targets an opposing character with an attack and actions resolve. Choose a power or team ability that character can use. That character can't use that power or team ability until your next turn. Now, this actually is pretty good. Now, I have a choice. If I play him at 75, I have a range piece, and if I play him at 50, I have a melee piece. So I have to sort of decide which one is better. Okay. Next up is High Father. Now, High Father makes me completely readjust how I'm going to play because I want to make sure that I don't have any figures higher than High Father's points, which automatically puts me in a more swarmy mode. And, you know, I always can have some other cool buffage options, definitely with the Zaya the Creator. Um, but, you know, then there's Adamantium Specialist, which I like because I can just give a character invulnerability, and that's it. Now imagine, whatchamacallit, Mitziplick. Mitziplick without, with invulnerability and super senses. And, you know, just bam, you put them on click 2. So that could be really, really fun. Yeah, yeah, that could be really, really fun. So let's look at Weapon X Scientist. We're at 40 points. Uh, he can use telekinesis, but only to place opposing characters or characters with the Weapon X keyword. So he can't TK objects. And he only can TK opposing characters. So I don't really like that. All right. Then he has we can always find you. Weapon X Scientist can use Outwit. When he does, he may target characters that can use Battle Fury or uh, have the Weapon X keyword regardless of range or line of fire. Sorry. So that's nice, but to have that without like Shriek or to combine that with Shriek would be really, really interesting. So there's thoughts right there. So when we look at ease of use, I mean, I'm primarily paying 40 points for an Outwitter, but I have a pretty good Outwitter. Now that Hydra Annihila agent, what's the best thing for, you know, this figure? Really is just the fact that it's cheap and it has shape change. I mean, other than that, there was no other reason to have it. So then we have to start weighting some things. Do we want to go big or do we want to go small? So on our big end, we have High Father and Hell. And then on the lower end, we have really Adamantium Specialist and Weapon X Scientist. So we can get rid of Nick Fury. Bye-bye. All right. So the Nile agent really for utility isn't there for a cost. And so we have to figure out. Now, if we go with Hell, there's tons of cool stuff that we can do in terms of damage output. But we go with High Father, that definitely makes sure in a higher point game that we're not going above 130. And High Father can be in a risk in anything above 400. Okay. But the Zaya the Creator is really, really good, and I really don't have to pack much more support, and I can really focus on offense after, after I look at the rest of my team. I mean, sorry, once I start looking at the rest of my team. So Adamantium Specialist still comes back as nice 45 points that I can utilize to make somebody more bulky, more stable. Also get them off of click 1 really quick. And so I'm gonna, just for now, I'm gonna drop Adamantium Scientist and I'm going to drop High Father. So we're really looking at Hell and Weapon X Scientist. So if I look in between the two, I'm getting support and offense from Hell. I'm getting technically a situational outwit from both of them. But Hell's starting off and giving me perplex, so that's a bonus right there. 100 points for 4 clicks. You know, I've never been the most supportive about that, but that taxi element, the super strength, being able to have improved targeting, and you know, you could say, "Look, wait, that's not Superman thing," but really, that we're not going to be using that. So I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to go with Hell. Okay. So once that's done, all right. So now we have a starting point for the rest of the team. So Hell has a nice defense, and it would be easy to go that Wonder Woman, Rainbow Raider sort of route on the team. But I really don't want to do that. I don't. You don't mind going to the well, but you don't want to get waterlogged. So we're going to try to do something else now. There's no rule making this guy like the center point of my team, or if he dies, then I lose the game or anything like that. So we could start looking at some other good elements. So let's go back to what I said I want to work on. This is going to be a lab day. So let's look at our lab element. Our lab element is going to be the Colossal Retaliation. So I have pretty much all of these now except Solaris. Or Solaris, however. Yeah, I have all of them except Solaris. I got multiple war wheels, which, gosh. Oh, Lord. I thank thee for my bounty, even though I'm not always grateful for it. All right, so we got So I'm paying 15 points for the war wheel, so we can start looking at this. All right, now Hallel only has Kryptonian scientist keyword. Now I could easily make a scientist theme team. I really could, but then that wouldn't really allow me to use these colossals. So that's why we're doing this the other way. All right. Now I know in the comments you all are going to be like, yeah, but Dark Logos, you could have played the blah. And then that would have been a bearded figure, and then you could have did these theme teams. And I'm like, well, yeah. But like I said, when it comes to sculpts, I am not that proficient. So War Wheel is not bad. It's 15 points, but we already know. I think the Atom is where the hotness is. So his Colossal Retaliation, free action. No other Colossal Retaliation power has been activated this turn. Choose an opposing character that attacked the Atom or damage a friendly character since your last turn. Place the Atom, blah, blah, blah. Close combat attack targeting the chosen character. Then do so with an area effect that includes all their characters within 2 squares of the target. Opposing characters can't use combat reflex. Yeah. So I need a Nick Fury retaliation. So the Atom is it. So we got the Atom on the team now. Do we want? We need to probably start looking at maybe one other one now. I'm looking at the War Wheel. Okay. Now I'm looking at the War Wheel for a couple of reasons. The first reason is I just want to see, does it completely suck? And then the second reason is that I do think that there potentially, and I am saying potentially, could be something there for a retaliation, because it does more damage than the Atom, but at the same time it has a lower attack and it doesn't have anything that shuts down powers. But its range of effect is a lot wider, because this is the make a close combat attack whose area of effect is all the characters in the rows or columns between where War Wheel began this action. So it's where you began the action and the square currently occupies. So you can technically create a nice little box to just be like, boom. Hit characters are each dealt 2 penetrating damage instead of the normal damage. So it does have penetrating damage if you decide to do that with the whole area. Now, this is nice because this actually can like murder masses, and I do mean masses of ants or pog things, if it goes off. So I'm going to roll with that. Okay, so we're at 130 now. So I've met my secondary personal requirement. I have the atom and I have the war wheel. Now I could easily just be like Titano and Lois Lane and shenanigans. Like I could easily do that, but I'm not doing that. Um, Now, let me check something really quick. Yeah. See, like Titano and the War Wheel do very similar things, except Titano's more expensive. He has a lower defense. He does have plasticity, though. Let's look at Solaris. Yeah, I do want to play Luchador uh, with Brimstone, but All right, now I do have an option. I do have the Batman Superman robot. I do own that, and I could play the Batman Superman robot at 150, and then do the whole double and triple Justin Zephyr type thing. Uh, and that could get silly really, really fast. Definitely for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, uh, if you combine it with a Blue Lantern battery, it gets stupid fast because now I can get this sucker up to like a 7 damage and a 14 attack with all the little guys that I'll have. And then Justice Zephyr, number one, will have it full move in attack, and it will do 7. The second attack from the other Justin Zephyr will, or he'll hypersonic speed and like move back, and then the second attack will be 6, and the last Justin Zephyr will do his thing, and then he'll move up and then hit for 5, and it's like, if you weren't dead, now you're dead, sort of thing. But you might be like, Dark Logos, that requires a lot of perplexes. But yeah, but if I run a Blue Lantern, I'm getting a bunch of perplexes for free. And then you just stack that with, a couple other effects I can get. And it's not that hard. And then the Superman robot starts with super strength, so I can just pick up an ultra heavy, and like my first action is like move up, pick up ultra heavy, smack dude for 7. So definitely it's something to think about. And then with Hallel, I could just outwit through stealth. Now the Superman robot isn't that deep at the rookie level, and the experience level is 300 points, where it's a higher attack value, and you get access to Superman robot can use Impervious, but if it were to be dealt 4 more damage, it reduces the damage by 3 instead of 2. This power can't be ignored, or sorry, can't be countered. So you can't outwit it, but you can say you can't use it. Now you're back to saying, well, Dark Logos, are you still committed? Seeing, you can run the Superman robot at 300. Are you still committed to running it? And it can give you, a lot of damage output. Yes, but still, I have to be aware of Highfather, because I figure everybody else is going to, realize what freaking Highfather can do. So having a Superman robot, we'll put it on the consideration for an attacker. So we'll put it at 150. Bam. Okay. So we got the 150 consideration. And you're gonna say like, "Oh my gosh, this is so Superman and Wonder Woman heavy." Oh my gosh, yeah, it sort of is. But I mean, if you actually listen to the podcast, majority of the time I'm in Marvel anyway, so this is a lot more experimental, I'll say, than we normally are. Well, I normally am. Uh, where's the Fast Forces? Okay, here we go. Now, because I am still concerned about Highfather, because again, he's probably the strongest bearded person that's on the list. My next goal is to try to find another character that equals 150 points. That's modern age. That will not screw my team over. So, modern age equal to greater than is equal to 150, because that Superman robot is pretty boss, and you end up like sort of finding the base of your team and then you're going from there. Now I know also I'm at another sort of crossroads, is that I don't have any probability control. So right off the top, I got Doctor Strange, which I already was looking at. I have the prize support Gladiator, which isn't bad because I have another hypersonic speed attacker with 12 attack. So that can be pretty good. And I have him, so I'll just click it. There's Ultron 7. I do not have that. There's High Evolutionary. I do have that, but do not want to play it. There's an Iron Man from the Fast Forces. I don't like that. Captain America, Shield Captain America, not that useful. Thor from Age of Ultron, and actually there's a couple of Thors. I don't have that Fast Forces. I really wish I did, though. Black Bolt from the Inhumans Fast Forces. I think a lot of people forgot about that, but it's not a bad figure, so we'll look at that. All right, so right there, we're getting some good options here. We have hypersonic speed, Captain Marvel, Tyrant, and I don't like that. Iron Man, no. Mentor, I think Mentor had a beard. Mentor wouldn't be bad, but he's an example of literally like high end support. Like you're right back at that Highfather situation. Nimrod wouldn't be bad if I still had one. Scarlet Witch is interesting because at 150 she really solves for our problem that we currently have. So that would have actually been great. Unfortunately, her attack value is a little too low starting off. Now, this actually is good because we have Professor X from Avengers versus X-Men. And this gives us our control element that we really, really, really could use to slow things down, considering that we have the Batman Superman robot as our primary attacker, Hillel as sort of like a backup attacker. Then we can still have mind control and then tempo control. So that is really, really, really good. He also, when he doesn't have 2 action tokens, can use shape change, and when he has he can use mind control and it's not dealt unavoidable damage from it. Opposing characters within range must be given double power action instead of power actions. Yeah, that is really good. Now, the downside of this is it makes him a huge target. and his only real defense is mastermind, which would then um, force me to have to integrate something where he can have mastermind fodder too, and that's a whole different problem. So okay, so all right, so let's just keep looking. Titanium Man. Now, some people would say, like, once I got down to like Curse and Malekith, like, oh, those are great guys, and like they're not bad. It's just they don't necessarily fit my play style, and I don't have any of the chases from Wolverine and X-Men. Now, there is World's Finest Power Girl, but I don't think she's worth 150 points. And don't get me started on Superman 2. That, dang it. Dang. Anyway, okay, so there's Brainiac, the one that can be an entity. And that can be quite useful, mainly because if he dies, then it's just like poof. I put you on L, and bam, we're good to go. We're back in business, and then I have the whole world working like clockwork thing going, and then yeah, like you don't want to deal with that. Now, Ultraman from the Fast Forces isn't bad at 150 for our options. It would also give us a prob, but he's a bit soft. He's really soft. There's Deathstorm. Yeah, Deathstorm is nice because he gives us another option of dealing with like Nick Fury type situations with elevated terrain. And yeah, he ignores elevated terrain and hindering terrain. His damage output isn't that great, but I do think he's paying for what he gets. So there is that. Batman, but I don't have that Batman. Zoom 150. Traded shape change. When he attacks opposing characters with the lowest point value on that character's force, modifies Zoom's attack and damage value by +1. When he attacks an opposing character with the highest point value on that character's force, he can use precision strike. Man, that's not bad. With a 10 attack, that's not the greatest either. So you can start to see like there's some complications coming up, because freaking Calipac. Oh gosh. So there's some things that I can just like roll with, and there's other things like, this isn't working too good. There's also Bizarro that I can play him exactly at 150 points, which would allow him to have the max amount of stacks that he can have. So that's 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6. So that's not bad either. So let's look at our options that actually seem viable. I know. Gosh. Actually, hold away. If Superman was given a non-free action this turn, poses more characters on the map than your force. Actually, you know what? There's another figure that we actually need to consider. It's number 17, Superman. Yeah, we actually need to consider him. And let me go back up through the list one more time, just in case I missed something that was awesome. Cyclops from AVX. So much shenanigans there. Not really. Okay, so let's look at our options here. So first off, we come back to a figure that we were looking at before with Doctor Strange. He's not that durable, but it does give us prob, and that solves for a major problem that we do have. Next up is Gladiator from the prize support. A little short-lived. Having a balance L and Gladiator, looking at it, might be a bad idea, so Gladiator's off the list. Then there's Thor from the Avengers movie set at the rookie version, and that's not bad. Running shot, energy explosion, and enhancement. But we're also looking at a huge disadvantage coming in that we only really have his basic traits, and he doesn't have any sort of indomitability. You could say, well, Gladiator doesn't either. Neither does Doctor Strange does have Indom, so that actually gives him an advantage. All right, then Black Bolt. Black Bolt does have Indomitable. He has, Precision Strike, and he's about the same dial length as Doctor Strange, but he also has damage reduction throughout that sprinkled throughout his dial, so that's not bad. So again, something else that we can consider. Professor X would give us awesome amounts of control, but unfortunately he has no damage reduction. Only safety he has is a potential shape change and then Mastermind, and that's not going to keep him alive. Cyclops from AVX, because sharpshooter and being able to shoot through all sorts of dumb stuff is always good. So right now he's still being considered. Okay. Then we have the 150-point Superman with the odds are against me, which in actuality is really good considering in this format that we possibly could be facing situations where our opponents would have more figures than our team. But at the same time, we are sort of spamming with the Atom and with the War Wheel. And so we can make some tweaks to make our team smaller if we do go with that. But we also have to consider as well the consideration of Justin Zephyr. Okay. So while this might be good, that Superman might not be what we actually need, but it's something I would really want to play. Then we have Brainiac, and that can be definitely stupid level once we start talking about every turn pulse wave all day, every day. And then Deathstorm, trying to do a ghetto Nick Fury without playing Nick Fury, and getting some prob in there with the CSA would require us to adjust the team, probably play an Ant-Man so that I can get a Pogs to generate the ants on. So that's something else. And then there's Bizarro at 150. Now, definitely the most survivable and probably the craziest thing to deal with. And I don't see a lot of people really handling that too well anymore, having to land 6 attacks on him. But all being considered, I really like that Doctor Strange just for what we're trying to do right now. He solves for too much stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and add Doctor Strange. So that puts us at 430. Then we need to go to Avengers set and get Justin. Ugh. Where are you? Justin Zephyr. Okay. So we can't put in multiple Justin Zephyrs. Because if we could, I would get... could I? That would put me over by 10. I could get rid of the War Wheel. But then that wouldn't leave me much for a resource. So we won't do that. So we have 30 points. 30 points left. And again, I know some of you are like, Dark Logos, get rid of hell and put in that extra Justin Zephyr and put in the you have Doctor Strange, you can get 100 points of awesome. And I'm like, I'm trying. Yeah. Doctor Strange would get over. I'm gonna take my own advice. I'm gonna. What I will do. Here's what I'll do. I'll make a tweak if I can get rid of L and play something else. I will, but if not, okay. I'll have him on the sideline because he does have that. He does have a beard, like clearly. And that would free up like 60 points to do some cool stuff. So we have some options now. Option, number one that just comes off the top of my head would be the Phoenix Force. Now you might say, well, Dark Logos, why the Phoenix Force? For a couple of reasons. Reason number one is that I can power up, because Hell is going to die. So making my opponent know the time that you kill Hell, Batman, Superman, Robot, and Doctor Strange are going to get stronger. Like straight up. Like having my opponent know that is sort of awesome. Now, I could, quote unquote, go with round table, and there wouldn't be anything really wrong with it. The only issue that I look at is like the Phoenix Force initially will give the Batman, Superman, Robot like RCE. I can give it RCE, and then I'm able to move into position, then make a attack, just to make a normal attack, then use RCE to compensate for my loss of damage that I got. And when I make my second attack with Justin Zephyr. So that's why. That's why I'm like, that's probably like the better of all the options. Then I also could, some people will say like, play Orange Battery. I don't have a reason to use Orange Battery, and there's not much that I can take away. Like hypersonic speed, toughness. I'm not taking away like anything big like Pulse Wave. Okay, so there's an issue there. Now, if I would say anything to consider, it would be having outsiders to deal with the abundancy of screw you, you can't. I lower your stats with Rainbow Raider, and then I have a defend bubble of blah, blah, blah. So that's there as well. That's a factor. But I'm not fully sold on. I'm not fully sold. Now, note, is this team a bit fragile? And depends on really a bunch of gimmicks. Gimmick number one, Batman, Superman, Robot, and Justin Zephyr. Easily counterable. Okay. Gimmick number two, Hallel giving a perplex and just possibly like lowering defenses, and then also outwitting. Again, a gimmick. Can I deal with super high defenses? Not really with this. Can I deal with shape change? Nope. Do I have any form Pulse Wave? Nope. So there's a lot of holes in this. And again, we're starting from a foundation of I need to have a guy with a beard. Now, some people might say, well, you could downgrade to Mahazis. Downgrade some stuff and then upgrade to Mahazis. And it's like, yeah. But again, we already established in our metagame analysis that Highfather will be a thing because he is easily one of the most powerful bearded guys there. Just in all honesty. So, looking at this, like, not only that, I don't have any sort of sustain or healing on the team. So, what we can do, we can make some tweaks here. So what we can decide to do is saying, hey, instead of going with two 150 point people, we can go for lower points and then have two people, like we can have more 100-point people. Okay, that would make us a lot more open to copycat, but we can do it. It would also make it would make us really open to copycat. Actually, no, copycat won't be as much of a thing because with resources, you could just bring stuff. You run the nurse. So, okay, so we can take another step and we can say, hey, do we want to experiment with anything else? And that's a fair question. It's a fair question. So one thing that we could experiment with is I can't do the Quinjet. I've used the round table so much and in so many different teams. Just not really at my local venue, like on online play. Like I've used that sucker so much. Let's see. Let's look at Rock of Eternity. 14 points and 2 points. Okay. So Rock of Eternity would fit what I'm sort of looking for, because I can start getting some added effects. And so let's just see what happens when I add in all the sins. If I got enough points, I should have enough points. Boom. Yeah. So I have enough points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. I have enough points. So exactly puts me at 498. So it actually works out. So Rock of Eternity, what that's going to do, first off, it's going to solve for that one problem that I've talked about, pulse wave. Now I'm going to have to build toward it, but I can eventually solve for pulse wave. Okay, so that's great. Problem solved. The other thing that's nice is that I have a chance of getting these added abilities on there as well. The main one that I'm looking at is a sloth. Yeah, sloth. This character can use sidestep and modify its defense value by +1 at the end of your turn. If this character wasn't given any actions this turn, heal it of 1 damage. So this gives me sustain on my Superman robot. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now, I can play a lot safer knowing if I had a map with a lot of hindering terrain, just by saying like, Batman, TA, son, what's up? But knowing that I can't guarantee on that, that's a different element that makes this a little bit more fragile. Also, another cool thing that is that's nice. Where is it? Something glitched out with. Okay, here we go. Lust. This character can use combat reflexes, plasticity, and sidestep. Greed, energy shield deflection. This character can use perplex with a range value 10, but only target opposing characters. Yeah, so with this setup, I am primarily just buffing one character. And then I still have my path. So I can have access to poison, potentially with 2 action tokens on me. Plasticity, hypersonic speed, another way of getting hypersonic speed, and a bunch of other cool stuff, even at the end with impervious, having access to impervious and prob. So yeah, and even some steel energy in there. So this actually works out. It allows me to, take a step back, focus on, learning some new figures, some new, mechanics, playing a lot safer. Definitely a lot safer. then I preferably might want to. I know it wasn't the, do insane damage, blah. And I know, like, some people might say, like, come on, you could have pushed it a little bit more. Definitely, I know I could have gone back and maybe played Black Bolt or something like that. But, The other element that also comes up is, hey, I really don't need a taxi because Ha'el flies, Superman Robot flies, Doctor Strange flies, Justin Zephyr can get easily carried by Batman Superman Robot. So now that sort of puts me back at what's the main purpose of Ha'el, and can I downgrade him? Okay, so there is that is now, we're now looking at legit changes that we can make. Okay, so with that being said, so let's go ahead and get rid of Ha'el. All right, so that puts us at 398. And we have lost our full bearded person. So what we'll do is go and get, not adamantium specialist. Where'd you go? Deadpool. Weapon X scientist. Okay, so Weapon X scientist is back. Okay, now we have some concerns about pulse wave. All right, so put in Parallax from War of Light. Now I know some of you are like, oh, lame, dark logos. I was like, yeah, I know. But Parallax does a lot in terms of damage output. And also giving pulse wave. So now here's the other thing. I could, and I mean, I really do mean this, I could change out resources at this stage. And then focus my attention and, in a different direction. Like looking at the power plant or something like that. Because that would be a way of like boosting up, my entire force. Considering, like I said, I have two, like I said before, I have two attackers and technically one just straight up support piece. Even though Doctor Strange is, still very supporty. And then I can make Doctor Strange have a 10 range with a sniper rifle. That's always awesome. But Parallax gives me one huge element up front, and that's damage reduction. And having played Doctor Strange before, he needs it like so hard, like all the time. He needs damage reduction. And then also he can, have stealth. So that's pretty cool too, if need be. Yeah. So, I have 37 points left. I think I'm still going to stick with that Rock of Eternity. And I know, like, I could easily just go back and get that Justin Zephyr, but I'm going to still stick with that Rock of Eternity. And I could, here's what we can do. We're going to experiment a little bit more. We're going to drop the War Wheel. All right. So that gives us some more points freed up. Okay. So now we're sitting at 52 points. So we're going to look at figures in the range of, we're just going to say 40. Actually, we can even go lower. We'll go to 10 to 52. Search. All right. So the main reason I pick out 10 is it gets rid of majority of the ATAs, so you're not flooded with the ATAs when you're looking at it. So, bam, right there we have Henry. So we can pop out Henrys. I have two, so two Henrys. We got a bunch of shield agents. Okay. And we have Fitz, we have Simmons, we have Sky. Now Sky can perplex anywhere on the map, so we got to consider her. Also, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, where's those recruits? Okay. Shield recruit is great because it gives us shield TA for 20 points. And Sharon Carter, bodyguard, Sharon Carter. I know there was like one of these other guys. Okay, so we also have the Hydra field agent, so we can push and get support. Fitz is, the standard Fitz is nice because he can give us a shield TA plus enhancement, and then the enhancement through the pogs that he generates, so he can stay in relatively pretty good safety. That's really nice. Now, I know there was like one that gave enhancement. Somebody gave enhancement that was super cheap. I don't know, was it Hydra Recruit? Yep, that's it. Hydra Recruit. Okay, so Hydra Recruit is also there because then we have Sidestep, Hydra TA on top of everything, and Willpower. So there's some goodness there. Okay. Of course, we have our Hank Pims that we can generate. And we have our other entity characters that we can bring in. Vale, we can bring in another Justin Zephyrit, which we've already talked about. If I had Destiny, I'd play Destiny. And I lost my Maury McTaggart. But Maury McTaggart would be the nice final play to get everything like back into business. That sort of hurts that I lost her. Well, more along the lines of misplaced her. So yeah, that sucks. Because having a heal at 11 would be great. But yeah, so okay, but that sort of brings some things into perspective. Bill Agent of AIM would also be good, and Weasels would also Weasels also would be good too. So all right, Puck. There's nothing else that really is like standing out to me. I know I can do like a Jimmy Olsen or something like that. And that would be fine. And then if he gets hit, he just turns into an attacker. Accountable is nice as well for the outwit, and super cheap. And yeah, so there's really not much else that's here. I could do a Star Labs technician, but yeah, I could do a Star Labs technician, and that's really, really pushing it because that gives me 19 points to work with, and so here's what else we can do. We can make another assessment and say, all right, how important is sustain right now? And this is just more of like my more personal viewpoint than anything else. For a majority of people, y'all would have been like, this team is good to go. Let's go. Just slap some more entities on there somehow and we're great. And speaking of entities, I did think about using the entity and then, healing up that way. And even 25-point Bizarro is pretty good too. Mr. Freeze, but he can't heal. All right, so let's do something. Let's look for just modern age support. Just less than. Let's just do less than 100. I know I can't get majority of the stuff that's probably going to pop up. Modern age, power, support, search. All right, here we go. So we have Simmons with a 9 attack. We got Bucky with Waylay Dial. We have Shield Bodyguard, but unfortunately you have a 18 defense when you first get support, and if you push past that, you get a 9-15, which means you only have to roll a 6, which is great. That's a little iffy, but we'll click it for right now. Hydra Field Agent, 25 points, 9 attack. Jane Foster's free, but we can't use her. Quinjet has it, but I can't fit the Quinjet. Yeah, I can't fit the Quinjet. Scarlet Witch gets it from Avengers movie set, but that's like last click, and I don't really want that. Yeah, Isaac gets it, but it's going to be a while. Like I said, like Moira McTaggart seems to be like the character. Mercy, I don't have Mercy. And here we go. The Shield support agent wouldn't be bad if it had like a 9 attack. But, you can't have everything. Pepper Potts, no. Rescue. Okay, here we go. This might actually be where it gets interesting. Pepper Potts at 35 points would do what we need to have done. Okay. But it will take a bit for her to turn into Rescue 202, which is the one that we really want with a 9 attack. And it's a little bit beefier, just slightly, and you get defend on her click 3 technically. So that's nice. Technically, Smasher has every power. Bowstring is great. Enhancement and support, so that would actually solve a lot of problems. How many? I'll look here in a bit. Green Lantern's not bad, but it's at the end. Support's not at the end, and of course. Choose a standard and give Hat a power action and choose a standard. Yeah. Here's the problem. Like, okay, once per turn, you can give Hat a free action and choose a standard attack power, or give Hat a power action and choose a standard damage power, which you can't then use support. Now, it says Hat can use the chosen power until your next turn, but that doesn't help. Now, Batman's too expensive. And Engineer, well, dang. That's hard to argue against. And recruits way later. Soraka not to is a trait, too expensive. And Sister Cersei is too expensive. Yeah. Now, if I was able to get down to like click 3 and do proselyte and then pick support, I would need another character. Like I would have to like rebuild it. But yeah, the way it looks just right now, I don't have too many options. I'm between Simmons, Pepper Potts, and Shield Bodyguard, and they're all 35 points. So Pepper Potts probably by far is the best option for just the main reason is that given how long it's going to take tempo wise, and I have 5 actions, I'm only really doing 3 on an average turn. So the 4th is going to be for Pepper Potts to like get into fighting shape and put that Iron Man armor on. Then when she AEs, I can just be like poof. I'm now a 9 attack instead of a 7 attack. Now, like the Shield Bodyguard takes just as much time, but it's a 9 to a 15 defend, but you have 2 clicks, whereas Pepper Potts, she's going to have 4 clicks. Simmons is going to have 3 clicks. It's like, yeah. Now here's Simmons does have some niceness that she can do, like in terms of like buffing her team, and truthfully she can easily like push, and her pushes could be useful. So she just pushes like shield TA boom, shield TA boom. So Pepper Potts, so good and survivable. So yeah, we'll just do Pepper Potts. Now me finding Pepper Potts is a whole different subject. And Henry, all right, so we're back at 498. So Pepper Potts, Parallax, Weapon X Scientist, Rock of Eternity with all the sins, Justin Zephyrit, Doctor Strange, Con exclusive, Batman, Superman robot, and the Atom is our team. So I know it's, like I said, it's a way longer show. You're just hearing me sort of talk and my thought processes behind building a team. So just take it in, and shoot, as late as I've been up, probably, I don't even know if I'm going to go play now after building this team. But definitely, give me your comments, about the thought process, too rough, too smooth, what am I missing, in particular, the meta-analysis element of, was the thought processing and the mechanics of going through it, what was good, what was bad, because we always can improve it. But I'm hoping that this will give you like just some general insights into like a pretty decent team. If I were to rank this, it's probably like a B. I'm a B minus C plus team. I mean, I cover a lot of basics, but it's not like super tight. Like even when it comes to the resource, because I know the resource can be changed, and I can do something with that. And I know I could probably find a better medic or something, but yeah. So there you go. There's the team. This is what, sort of working with. Hopefully I can get everything together and for the tournament this evening. All right. That's it. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. It's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. You can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. You can check out the blog, startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com, and you can donate to the show from there. Everything that you donate will help to make the show better. And oh, link below, you can buy my shirt. And that's pretty much the majority of it. So thank you for listening. And remember, we all have to go to bed sometime.